My brother wore one black sock and one white sock. He doesn't even know how to get dressed.
Putting on clothes is one thing, but do you know how to get spiritually dressed? Do you know how to put on the armor of God? My name is Zach, and this is Keys for Kids. Thanks for joining me today. Believe it or not, the Bible talks about special clothes that every Christian is supposed to wear. Not a suit and a tie or a special dress, but the armor of God. It helps us remember God's promises and protects us from the devil's attacks. Paul wrote these words to the Ephesians. He said, "Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground." Our story for today is entitled, Gospel Socks. Callie sat at the edge of her bed and put on a pair of white socks. Then she looked up and saw her brother Jackson standing in her doorway wearing one black sock and one white sock. Callie laughed. "Your socks don't match," she said. Jackson looked down at his outfit. "They do too. The black one matches my black jeans and the white one matches my white t-shirt." Jackson smiled a big toothy grin, and Callie rolled her eyes and smirked. Just then, Dad came out of his room holding a black sock and a white sock. "Have either of you seen the match to either of these socks?" he asked. "Yeah," said Callie, "on Jackson's feet." Jackson was slightly big for his age, and sometimes he borrowed Dad's socks. Dad shook his head as Jackson stood on one foot and yanked the black sock off. He handed it to his dad in exchange for the white sock. After breakfast, they met in the living room for their morning devotions. "Time to get dressed for the day," Dad said. "But we're already dressed," said Jackson, looking down at his clothes. "We even have matching socks." "I'm talking about getting dressed spiritually," said Dad. "Think of it this way. Why is it important to wear socks?" "Well, socks help keep our feet warm and dry," Callie said. "And they protect them from getting hurt by rubbing against our shoes," Jackson added. Dad nodded. The Bible talks about putting on spiritual clothes called the armor of God that help and protect us. They help us remember God's promises and protect us from the devil's attacks. And one of the things we need to put on, like socks, is the gospel of peace. "How do we do that?" Callie asked. "By reminding ourselves that Jesus has saved us from sin and won the victory over Satan. That means we don't have to give in to sin or listen to the devil's lies. One good way to remember that is to read God's Word. The Bible reminds us what Jesus has done for us so we can feel His peace in our lives." Jackson smiled. "Well, let's get started. I want to make sure I'm wearing matching gospel socks." Well, how about you? Do you remember to put on socks every day? What about gospel socks? Do you remember to put those on every day too? You do that by remembering what Jesus has done for you and that you belong to Him. Praying, reading the Bible, and spending time with Him are ways you can put on the spiritual clothes you need to stand up against evil and feel God's peace in your life. Our key verse is found in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 13.
Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground.
And our key thought for today, put on God's armor. Hey, do you love to listen to the Keys for Kids stories every day? How have they helped you grow closer to God? I'd love to hear how Keys for Kids has impacted your walk with Him. Maybe a story encouraged you or taught you something new about God. Ask your parents' permission and send me a voice message. Go to keysforkids.net and tap open mic and tell me your story. That's keysforkids.net and tap open mic. I'm Zach with Keys for Kids.